Aloha. With this video, I just wanted to share something real quick that I was just shown just last night. It's and just share my quick perspective on it because I don't have to go into too much detail on it. I've already made numerous videos breaking this stuff down. This video itself pertains to videos that are 3+ years old now. So the information that I'm sharing right now, if you want to know what I'm talking about and who these individuals are, you're gonna have to go back 2, 3, and 4 years, or just search subtle infinity, the flat Earth community, so on and so forth, and you'll see what I'm talking about for the people who are completely oblivious to what I'm talking about. So apparently there is this documentary called The Behind the Curve that was produced with Mark and Patricia, or with Mark and Patricia in the forefront of the so-called flat earth movement. These two individuals were used, exactly as I was saying, they were going to be used as the dopey flat earth conspiracy theorists. And how I laid it out is that saying that they will be used as the fall people for the real flat earth documentary, like the Hollywood sponsored flat earth documentary, when it really goes mainstream. So the video Behind the Curve, or the documentary Behind the Curve, was produced to be the fall documentary. That's just like it's the initial, just kind of like, let's get rid of the top guns within this community that threaten our world. This is what I was bringing to the individuals who were just all over the nuts of this Netflix documentary when it was being made, and all the people who are following those individuals who are all over the nuts of that Netflix documentary, trying to tell them that this is what's going to happen. You're going to be played. You're going to be presented in a certain light in order to create this atmosphere that has nothing to do with, spreading truth and all that other shit. And these people sucked all these viewers in, all the people who were watching Mark and Patricia and that whole fake ass flat earth community. They sucked them all in. And what pissed me off last night, because I'm going to play that video where you see that passion come out. So this is why I had to say this right now. So this is after a night of, sleeping it off and, just letting it all mellow out. It wasn't even a big deal anyway. It was just last night, it was 3 years of passion coming to the surface because these fucking assholes were on my channel talking shit to me, calling me crazy. Basically calling me crazy for calling them out on their bullshit. Calling them out on what exactly they were a part of, what they were talking about. So they're still playing this shit now. They're still playing this, oh, it's about the numbers. It's about the numbers game. I don't care. It's about the numbers. As long as we get a lot of people talking about flat earth, it's about the numbers. They were never thinking beyond. See, the numbers game is checkers. That's like approaching the empire from the perspective of only the money. It's this linear. It's the basic idea of flat Earth that I've been sharing with people this entire time. They're gonna use it up to a certain point, chew it up, and spit these assholes out. And that's exactly what they did. And Mark and Patricia and everybody else in those little circles of people knew. They knew that was going to happen. They accepted it. You can go listen to their live streams. They knew they were going to be played as dopey, fucking crazy conspiracy assholes. They knew it. And they said, okay, well, let's just go ahead and do it anyway because it's going to be a lot of numbers for the community, and that's what really matters. And they kept selling that to the people, and the people kept getting behind them because they just kept believing, they just kept trusting that the only answer was flat earth. That was it. They just kept following this idea that had the potential to go mainstream. And a lot of the people who are just in this world of wanting to be recognized and seen by the mainstream media, they went along with it, regardless of what was going to happen. They didn't care. And exactly the way I said it was going to happen, it happened. It was ridiculous. And this is the thing. I don't want to get into like an I told you so kind of mentality, because it's not about that. It's about the information that I was trying to share, that I was sharing, so people can see that this is what the system is trying to hide. This is why I made those series. I made an entire series, a whole fucking documentary series of when Flat Earth goes mainstream, these assholes will be trying to hide these particular realities. Hours upon hours of information trying to help people see that this is what's being geared up. This is what's being presented for the future. Here we are 3 years later, and both Mark and Patricia and all those other assholes are as quiet as can be. Look at how quiet it's gotten now. They're still playing their little world, their little game, but they're not outward and all like throwing parties like they used to be, because they got played for fools, and they knew they was getting played for fools, and they were okay with getting played for fools, because they knew that, because they just wanted to be seen on Amazon Prime and Netflix. Now, this is the thing. It was never about the information. It was only about see, I don't even want to go that far, because now I get into like personal, what personal sort of like what they actually thought. And this is the thing. I can say that because I've actually heard them say they don't care. They don't care how they're presented. Mark is the poster child for saying that. I don't care how they portray me, as long as the flat earth gets out there. He got exactly what he asked for. And his little teammate, Patricia, got exactly what she asked for. And everybody else who's in that crew, they got that whole flat earth conference shit. They got exactly what they asked for. And I warned each and every one of them. I warned their asses. I warned D Marble that they were going to use his ass as my black friend in that documentary, in that whole series of shit. I warned Bro Sanchez they were going to use him as my black friend. And they sure enough did. They used the face of D Marble and his passion and his everything that he's done. They chewed his ass up and spit his ass out. And they did a little name drop of Bro Sanchez right after they showed like this Hollywood picture of all the Flat Earth Conference individuals on this picture. Then they said, oh yeah, Bro Sanchez, they used a real clip. It's very slick, the editing style of that documentary. This is what was so interesting about that documentary, is the editing style that was designed to make people look a certain way. So I mean, ultimately the documentary doesn't really achieve what it's trying to achieve on the baseline level, like the mainstream level. It doesn't achieve that whole these people are crazy sort of mentality, because the scientists that they presented, so-called scientists that they presented to make them look crazy, they didn't present any arguments that were based in science. It was just basically like ad hominem attacks, just calling them crazy in like a kind of scientific perspective. So, but beyond that, from how I saw that, it also looked like it was supposed to be bad. It was supposed to be bad on purpose. And this goes into what I was saying in the videos years ago. It was supposed to be bad on purpose to make them look bad. Not only make them look bad, to not only make the top guns of Flat Earth look bad, but to make them look bad, to take the information, co-opt the information, repackage it, and sell the good looking documentary with like Hollywood stars. So now they got these fake ass flat earthers out there as the centerpieces. Now they can start interview. Now there can be now just imagine a documentary with like Kyrie Irving being interviewed and Steph Curry and B.O.B. and Bill Murray and all these other fucking like who just did a video recently. He's gonna be speaking on this shit too. Reggie Watts. He's another comedian. He did a TED Talks. Now he's doing all this. He made a whole space ship film set, and he's doing these little clips, laughing, making comedy jokes about being on, a spaceship in space and all that other stuff. He seems like a pretty smart dude, so it seems obvious to me that he's kind of releasing information on purpose. But that's another thing. On purpose to what degree? For what? For what are your intentions? For people who are in those circles, their intentions are only going to go as far as those circles. The same way that Flat Earth Behind the Curve so-called documentary only went as far as Mark Sargent's dopey ass consciousness. That's as far as it was supposed to go. And I've been trying to tell people that's where they were driving it. And they were driving it to there for what? You can go to the extremes and say they knew exactly what they were doing. They were hired by the CIA or the FBI or whatever. They were hired to make it look dopey. You can say that. That shit's still on the table too. I don't know these motherfuckers. I don't know them. I don't know what the hell they about. They could definitely be about that. And it seems obvious when you really look at it. And I've been on point for that. I'm not saying that they are. I'm just saying that it's on the table that these assholes knew exactly what they were doing. And not only that, but they were, they really, really knew exactly what they were doing. So the other extreme is they had no idea, knew what they were doing. They're totally innocent in this whole thing. And then blah, 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 blah. But even in that world, you can't say they were totally innocent because they had people telling them exactly what the fuck was going to happen. And not only that, Jaronism was on, like I said in this video you're getting ready to watch, Jaronism's ass came onto my little funky ass channel when I had, way less subscribers than I have right now. A little amount of subscribers about a year ago or something like that. Because I had shared some information about my perspectives on, what he's doing and, with the circles he's in and that whole thing. I've been called their asses out. They came on. So this is why it's so deep for me, is because in a community full of so-called crazy people, these motherfuckers called me crazy for calling them out on the shit that they were doing in real time. I was making videos about what they were doing and how it was going to be used and manipulated in real time. And in real time, these assholes came back in that community of so-called questioning your reality, questioning what's going on. These assholes told me I'm crazy and should not be questioning what they are doing. Why? Because they are nice people? Because they seem to have good intentions? What the fuck does that have to do with anything in a spiritual warfare, in a psychological warfare, in a physical warfare? But everybody who was following them fell for it. Just like they fell for all this other shit. And the same way the system uses and manipulates the people, the masses, these flat earth conference assholes used the people of the YouTube community the same fucking way. And here we are back to square one again. Why? Because a whole bunch of reasons why, but I don't really want to go too much further than this. I just wanted to get this out and get some clarity into the video that I think I'm going to cut. I'm going to chop a piece, the piece where I'm speaking in that video, because it's like a 2.5 hour long video. And I just watched, I didn't watch the last 20 minutes of it or something, but I got up to the point to where I'm going to watch the rest of it to see what happens. But check it out if you want to. I'll leave the link in the description. D Marble's on that. D Marble's on the panel. Bro Sanchez is on the panel. Vegan Warrior. A few other people. Bro Sanchez, obviously. I was on there for a little hot second. I just got on there real quick, and then I didn't feel comfortable there anymore, and then I just bounced. But yeah, I'll cut that little clip out of there and show you, because what I was talking about really wasn't addressed. It wasn't presented. IPS was on there. It came later on. Started talking about. He came in real quick. When all, and IPS always seems to show up when you know in he's in these opportune moments. He seems to always show up in these opportunistic moments. I'll just leave it there. And I'll go into, a little further on down the line what's going on. But here's IPS in the moment of clarity that we have of 3 years of seeing what the fuck is going on now, like seeing all this other stuff with Netflix and everything. By the way, he was in that documentary. IPS was in that documentary. He says he doesn't know he was in there. But the pieces of his work or his speaking was used in there. And then he just happens to be behind this whole Mad Mike documentary now too. So the guy, Mad Mike, is a guy who just a rocket scientist or not a rocket scientist. Well, he is a rocket scientist, but a dude who builds rockets. And the initial rocket that he made was just supposed to be like an attention grabber to get people to look at flat Earth. This next video seems to, or this next mission that he's on that's in this documentary, it seems to be like this. He's trying to now prove flat Earth by going up in the rocket as high as he can to go see, what's going on. And then IPS said something about like this is gonna be, or he said that Mike said that this is gonna be the most watched thing since the Challenger explosion, which was kind of it just seemed kind of weird that he would mention that, or even Mad Mike would mention that. It's because like what what is the main thing that sells all the time? Like how difficult is it for like how easy is it for something to go wrong in a fucking rocket like that, and then this dude fucking dies or gets really badly hurt or injured, and then now he becomes like this martyr for flat Earth. That's what it seems to be like. And so you had the dopey martyrs for flat Earth with Mark and Patricia. Now you're gonna have like the physical martyr. It seems to be like the physical martyr. This asshole's like gonna risk his life to go up in a rocket, and then what if he doesn't make it? Now now you have emotional ties, tethered into people, locked in, and now people are really gonna buy it. And now they're gonna watch this whole thing because what? Because now you have another distraction. Now everybody's distracted by their emotions now. So I don't want to go too much into that, but just know that that's happening now. IPS is pushing. For people who don't know IPS is Infinite Plane Society, who's been in and around those circles from the beginning, disappeared for a while, talked shit about them, disappeared for a while, and came back. Now he's back again, pushing this Mad Mike thing. And why I'm saying what I'm saying right now is because now he's saying that, because it's it's gonna be showing eyes to the Discovery Channel and all this. Who gives a fuck about that? The same thing that went wrong with the initial documentary is the same thing that IPS is promoting with Mad Mike Hughes. Period. End of story. There ain't a fraction of a cell in my being that trusts that dude. Period. Like, I'm not saying that could ever change. I'm just saying right now in this moment, and after these years of feeling and analyzing this situation involving any around those circles, there's not a fraction, there's not a fucking piece of a fraction of a cell in any of my bodies that trust that dude or anything that's coming around that system. So I just wanted to put that out there, and I'll tell him to his face, just like I'm saying it right now. It doesn't matter if I'm saying it to his face, because the real is always going to be the real. That's the way I feel, and it's gonna. Anyway, I'm not gonna go any further than that. So what else was there? So on top of this, I've explained to people like how the documentary realm is going to be used to condition people into another mind control program. They're going to use these platforms to do this. Can't remember what video I think it was the Netflix video. Whatever Netflix video I was actually speaking, I referenced the fact that Amazon Prime, potentially Netflix, will be either combined with Amazon Prime or it will be sacrificed for Amazon Prime. One of the two. One of them are going to die or combine or something like that. It seems to me to be that Netflix, the big hitter, might merge with Amazon Prime because Amazon Prime is actually a bigger hitter in overall. Amazon Prime owns Amazon. Or Amazon owns Amazon Prime, that whole thing. Beyond that, from an intellectual perspective, if you really break down Amazon Prime, you'll see that Amazon Prime is more lined up to be the New World Order type of consciousness to be sold to the people. Because they're promoting channels like the Gaia Network, all these new age channels. And then the confirmation, the third ping for this was when Vegan Warrior said last night that he saw the Behind the Curve documentary on Amazon Prime before it was on Netflix. So that means that like Amazon Prime was on the flat earth kick, or that whole like let's at least, you know, acknowledge it by making fun of it kick before Netflix was. So they can use that as like, we were ahead of the game, we were ahead of Netflix and that whole thing, in order to get their street cred up and so on and so forth. But anyway, the Amazon Prime needs to work on its street cred because Netflix is such a superpower right now, and that's just the game that's being presented to people. Because if you know what's going, if you pay attention to what's going on, you can realize that the system is 10 steps ahead of what's going on. So this is why it was so easy to see how they were going to use Mark and Patricia. You just have to know how this system works. It's not a surprise for the people who are now, you know, on some of the people who are on this panel. They're surprised. They're surprised because, you know, they didn't realize the way, like how and why the system works. Just still, you know, being locked up into like what's going on. And what's going on is not what's going on. What's going on is what's being presented to go on by the people who want to tell you what's going on. So I think that's pretty much it. I didn't want to go too much into. There's something else that I'm missing. Let's see what I went in there. So yeah, it's, what else was there? So then, so yeah, they just, let me look at this real quick, because I said how, oh, where the hell is my phone? They were played. Oh, there it is. They were played. These dopey asses were played, and these are the words that I used when I was watching this documentary to so it started out like, you can really break down the way that documentary was edited and how it was created. Like, it started out by making it look like they were gonna make the flat earthers, paint the flat earthers out to be like smart and a good thing. That's why they showed the dude bouncing the golf ball on the hammers and all that other stuff. It's like, these guys are intelligent or something like that. That's how they did with the trailer too. So when Celebrate Truth, that dude and all these other people started sharing the trailer thinking that it was going to be a big fucking amazing thing, the trailer, when you look at the trailer for Behind the Curve also was designed the same way the first like 20 minutes of that documentary was created. It was designed to make you think that it was going to be on your side. It was designed to make you think that it was about the people and that it was going to make them look smart. But it was very complex in the way it hid its intentions and its motives the same way. Mark and Patricia don't have motive. They didn't have any intentions. This is giving them the benefit of the doubt that they're cool and they're not a part of some like big, you know, bigger thing. When you do not have any intentions, when you have no awareness of the macro story of what's going on, it's easy for you to get played. Because you're just a dopey asshole who's looking at numbers. This ain't got shit to do with numbers. So these are the feelings that I got when I watched this thing. So it was obviously, I've been calling it dopey was the word I've used for a while. They're going to televise, they're going to put Mark's dopey, so-called innocent ass out there and then make him look all like, oh yeah, he just has real intent, like he's just a real nice guy. And then they're going to make him look stupid. The same with Mark and Patricia. They played their dumbass fake relationship. It's all dramatized. It's all Hollywood. It's all old style of, how movies affect people. And I'll say movies because that was more of a movie effect on people than a documentary effect. It wasn't a documentary effect. It was more dramatized. The drama wasn't focused on like the drama of their relationship or the drama of Flat Earth. The drama was the way they dramatized the so-called truther questioning of reality. That was dramatized. So it wasn't a documentary, it was a drama. So the drama included the dopey, dumbass, fake relationship of Mark and Patricia, the dopiness of Mark, and the childish. Another thing was the man-child mentality of that whole in that conspiracy theorist, the middle-aged man who lives underneath the basement of his parents and all that other thing. So it was very childish. It was cheap. They made the whole situation trivial. The storyline was trivial. It was empty. There was no substance there at all. And it was meant to be See, all these words are just the on purposeness of why it was all jacked up on purpose. Like it was a better way to phrase that. These are just the words that are used that I felt that explain the way this system used these individuals to implode the entire information stream. And then they ended it with 2 failed experiments by the flat earthers. So it was a hit piece. It was an obvious hit piece. It was obvious. And then what I'm saying is that Mark and Patricia knew. You can't say that they didn't know in any kind of way. They were completely oblivious to the fact that this was going to be a hit piece. You really? Are they that fucking dopey? Really? Are they going to play that? I'm sure they'll play that card anyway, because some of them already have. But you don't get to play that card when actual people were calling you out on that shit and telling you that they were going to play your asses like that. So you don't get to play that innocent. I had no idea they were going to do such a thing. Get the fuck out of here. I've been making videos about how they were going to play your stupid asses like that. There's almost 1,000 fucking videos on this channel talking about how these dopey motherfuckers were gonna get played. Empty, substanceless. And now, what's the next distraction? IPS selling another documentary. You fool me once, shame on you. Do it like the Bush thing. Fool me once, shame on. Fool me. What I'm trying to say is you can't fool me again. See, and these people are gonna fall for this shit. They got fooled once, they're gonna get fooled twice, and somebody's gonna make something to fool these assholes again, and they're gonna be right on it. Oh, what's the next one? Discovery Channel. Now let's get Discovery Channel. First, we got Netflix and Amazon Prime out there. Maybe if we get people talking on a live stream on Discovery Channel, everything will be. The fuck are you talking about? You're still not addressing the chess game. You still playing checkers. And it's still playing that number game. And for what? They still have no intentions. They still have no macro approach to what's going on. Still playing number games. It's bullshit. So I already said the my black friend, that was used just the way Hollywood uses it. Here's my black friend. Here's my black friend D Marble. It's not all white people in the flat earth community. We have respectable, intelligent, non-white people who are also interested in this. And that's why they use that individual's face for the Netflix picture, like the image that you're seeing right now. That's why they use him. It's the same shit, man. It's the same alchemy. So yeah, they use the my black friend tactic the whole time to sell you what? Your own stupidity. The documentary actually turned out to be worse than I imagined. They played them for fools worse than I thought. I thought it was just going to be like something. No, they played them. They made them in this documentary. They made them look like they made them look mentally unstable, like something was wrong with them. And they had scientists, so-called scientists, and writers and all kinds of shit to back up their claims of how crazy they are. And they just even questioning and thinking is thinking outside of the box. That makes you crazy, and you are mentally unstable. That's how they were played. And that's worse than, I mean, I knew they were going to be played for like, they're, crazy or anything. But I didn't think that they would go to the extremes of, saying like these individuals are, based upon scientific evidence, they are mentally unstable. So that was the kind of atmosphere that was thrown in that behind the curve thing that I felt. Let's see. So they made them the faces of the crazy conspiracy theorist, is backed by science. It's a very complex, the way it was edited. It was largely ineffective, like their technique, and like I said, it was ineffective, like their technique to make so-called conspiracy theorists look crazy or mentally unstable. It was largely ineffective because, and I was saying, because of the way it was done, and also because there's no way that they could do that, because they themselves are the ones that are mentally unstable, who don't think for themselves, who are just regurgitating scientism bullshit. So like I was saying, beyond that, it was largely ineffective on purpose, so this was like a B-list produced documentary on purpose, so that when the A-list produced documentary gets presented, that's when people will get, behind it. They'll get behind the storyline. This was meant to not get behind. They don't want people to get behind YouTubers. They want people to get behind Hollywood people, politicians. So if this is, then don't forget the timing of all this shit. Don't forget the timing of this release date of this documentary, and so on and so forth, in reference to politics and the government shit, and Owen Benjamin and Joe Rogan, the implosion or the separation between Joe Rogan and Alex Jones, and now flat earth being spoken about by Owen Benjamin, and Owen Benjamin being in the circles, buddy with Alex Jones being buddy with Trump, and then Trump being buddy with Joe Rogan used to being buddy with Owen Benjamin and Alex Jones. Don't think that drama isn't a part of the next agenda. This is the preview to that next agenda. And I'm not going to go into details about that because, like I said, I made many videos talking about how that's already laid out. Owen Benjamin, Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, TYT, the mainstream media, Trump, that whole shit. When Trump went on InfoWars before, like during his campaign, that's when I got my confirmation. I didn't need anybody else to give me any confirmation. I knew that that's how this was going to be played. And the dopey ass flat earthers just walked right into it. The flat earth community, they walked right into it, talking about all this. They bought that trustworthy, he's just a nice guy, I am Mark Sargent bullshit. They bought it, and they're the ones who kind of funded the implosion of this information stream. And why my passions are so intertwined in this is because I had been warning people and I've been taking hits. I've been taking blows from this community, from these individuals who are now sitting on Netflix and Amazon Prime. I've been taking blows from these assholes personally on my fucking shit. I've been taking these blows for the last 3 years from them. I've been sharing information upon deaf ears. It's been fought by people who are even supposedly close to me in this online community. It's been fought against. That's why I got so much passion about this shit. It's because in a world of crazy, so-called crazy people, and these people supposed to be trying to look like they are not crazy and cool and real sweet people and all that other shit, they tried to make me look like an asshole. They tried to make me look like a villain and make me look like a bad guy and make me look crazy. So fuck you for doing that shit. Because that has happened. That's the same story, like I've been saying in the last video I did. That's the same shit that happened to the indigenous people. When Christopher Columbus came over here and said, oh, look at these primitive and savage people. They don't even have any kind of real intelligence. They're just primitive, savage beasts who don't understand the real truth of this reality. This is a numbers game. We just need more numbers. We don't need to talk about spirituality and a connection with nature and so on and so forth. They didn't want to. The same shit happened. They downplayed every fucking thing that I've been sharing on my channel. That's why I was saying it's so crucial to realize what these actual people are doing. Those flat earthers represent thousands and thousands and potentially tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. This is what these subscriber bases are. It's not them. It's not a personal thing. When Mark and Patricia and Jeranism and that entire group of fuckheads say, they say subtle infinity is, wrong. Something's wrong with him. This is, and I forgot about this shit. Patricia, when I was in her comment section, when they blocked me from that comment section, she used the tactic of trying to make me look psychologically unstable, like something was mentally wrong with me for questioning their fucking tactics, the way they were approaching this shit. You can go and find that video. I don't remember what it was, and there's a whole bunch of videos on her channel, but there's a piece where I'm in the comment section talking directly to them. I was blocked, and when I was blocked, I said a bunch of stuff in the comment section. When I was blocked, when I went to go look back at that particular video, the live chat was no longer available anymore, which was, obviously suspicious. But anyway, maybe it is now. But anyway, what happened, what they tried to do to me, what Patricia tried to do to me in that comment section, happened to her by Netflix and Amazon Prime. It happened to them 10,000 fucking fold. That's exactly what happened to them. And they're still playing that game right now. So in that time, that's why I'm like, look, man, fuck this shit. They're calling me crazy. They're calling me something's wrong with me because I'm saying I'm calling out what's going on, what they're gonna get, what they're setting up the people for. And that's why I said it's not a personal thing. It ain't got shit to do with these personal feelings and emotions. These people represent an entire thought of consciousness. So when they attack me or go against me, they're not going against me personally, if that's what it looks like. They're actually going against the information that I'm sharing. So when they add going against me, like formally attacking me in the comment section, and then they add on ignoring all the information that I'm sharing, that is being like blacklisted. That is being like you're put in a black hole. Like all your information, everything that you're saying isn't valid. They are a big part of why a lot of these so-called flat earthers haven't even entertained any of the information on my channel. Why is a lot of the reasons why it's not just YouTube and Google that's censoring information. It's these so-called truthers who are censoring information too. Look how many people would have looked at this information that has been shared for the human story if you know, that community wasn't so focused on the mainstream media and their numbers in that world. Look at what would have happened if they were really about the truth and the information. They would have thousands and thousands of people looking at complex versions of mind control instead of just getting numbers and numbers and numbers behind an empty, substanceless, fucking flat Earth nothing movement. Because that's what it is now. That's what that community has been brought to. Empty, nothing, cheap, fake. What, like I said in that video, what it's always been. They've always been that. It ain't new. That's why I said they can't hide from what they've always been. Now they gotta wear that shit, and it's not a surprise to me. So I'll leave it there. Here's the video. Here's the video that was just live streamed last night. Bro Sanchez live talking about the state of the flat Earth community. So I guess something went down with Vegan Warrior and D Marble a few days back. I seen D Marble talk about a live stream or something like that. So I guess that was involving or about this whole documentary. So that's as much of a backstory that I can give people on what's going on here who are, you know, completely oblivious. For people who have been following this channel, thank you for the support again, and for, you know, holding the line and knowing what's up, like really knowing like, you know, what's going on here, and not, you know, leaving, not you know, thank you, because fuck, man, I mean, how it's hard enough to share information. Like, it's hard enough to talk about flat Earth. But when you're in a flat Earth community and you're sharing information that they don't even want to talk about, that's even more difficult. And that's really fucked up when you have these so-called truthers telling you that, you know, your truth doesn't matter. The shit that you're talking about doesn't matter. What really matters is this. You know, okay, yeah, is that what really matters, Mark and Patricia? Your Behind the Curve documentary, that's what really matters? All right, good. Now, let you explain, like, let's see how you explain to the people what really matters now. I'm interested in hearing that. And this documentary actually has been out for some time now. And if these individuals were completely oblivious of what's going on, and their intentions are true, here's another thing to add to this perspective. If all that is true, and they were taken advantage of by the people who produced this documentary to look dopey, to be the fall guys of the YouTube flat Earth community, if that's the case, and I had been calling their asses out on this the whole time and trying to warn them the whole time, if that's the case, this documentary's been out for some time. I don't know how long it's been on Amazon Prime. I ain't heard a fucking word from them. Not like they owe me anything or anything like that. But if they had any ounce of realness in them, I would have heard some kind of like, hey man, my bad. I didn't know they was going to do that with the documentary. Or I didn't know it was going to be that bad, at least. Because like I said, it ain't about me personally and all that. This is about the information. 3 years of information that could have been shared with tens of thousands of people that wasn't shared because these assholes were trying to protect their Hollywood, Netflix, Amazon Prime investment. 3 years of information that could have been shared with people. That's why I made those when flat Earth goes mainstream, it will be to hide these realities. To share the realities. The information. It's about the information, not the fucking numbers. Like somebody said in the live stream last night, it's about the quality, not the quantity. These fuckers went after the quantity. The same way the system goes after the quantity of mind control. This is why the same thing happened to the so-called truther YouTube flat earth community that happened to, the story. The same magic that was used against the people in the past was used today. And it worked because people didn't learn and they didn't listen. They actually had people producing fucking almost 1,000 videos of how this shit was gonna go down. Not a fucking word. Nothing. All the top guns of that so-called flat earth community. Now what? Now what? What the fuck now? And like I said, that documentary's been out for a while. I ain't heard a fucking word. I ain't heard shit from them. Not even a little email real quick saying, you know what, man, I had the wrong idea. I didn't know that was going to happen. My bad. At least. Nothing. So fuck it. Whatever. I'm not going to hold my breath for that. I don't really care because, like I said, they're still on the worlds of, being, they're on purpose. Like they were supposed to. They were used exactly the way they were supposed to be used. It was all on purpose. And that's starting to make more and more and more sense now. The more and more I don't hear anything or nobody else hears anything and they still play that quiet game. They're still playing a quiet game. The same way actors and activists and politicians and athletes in Hollywood, they all play the quiet game. They will never reveal to you their true intentions because a lot of them don't even have any because they didn't do the internal work. If you want to know more about that, go into the last video I just uploaded before this one. Actually, it was the second one before this one because the last one was a Reggie Watts one. The one before that one, I go into great detail about that whole situation. So let me leave this here and play that little clip so you can see it for yourself. Like I said, if you want to, so how this is going, because you can either watch this part of the clip or watch that live stream and then watch the documentary or vice versa. It doesn't really matter. I saw this live stream going. I didn't know what was going on. I started watching it, started seeing what was going on, and then Bro Sanchez sent me, I was in the chat, and then Bro Sanchez sent me a request. Then I went on there. Then I had no idea about, the documentary, how big it got. Like, I didn't know it was on Amazon Prime, and sure as hell didn't know it went to Netflix. So this is me finding out that all this stuff was going down and finding out that it was everything that I had been talking about had been confirmed for these last few years, and then finding out it was on Netflix. And then after sitting around hearing, because I set the tone, or I felt like I set the tone of what I thought the conversation was going to be about, and I sat around for a few minutes, and then I just kind of lost interest because it didn't really go anywhere. It wasn't really saying what I was talking about, like, where I was taking that. So I just didn't want to be a part of that stream at that time. So I also wanted to go watch the documentary. So I was like, I'm out. I'll go watch that documentary and get sleep on it and then come back and do my own thing later on. Because, the discussions are not even, I've already said enough information. I ain't got really much else to say or discuss after this. If people want to know where I am and what I'm talking about, go look at the videos I made fucking 2 and 3 years ago. Go look at that stuff. It ain't shit changed. It's just gonna be more vibrant. You're gonna see more and more about what I was talking about back then, being real now. So I'll leave it there. Check out this little clip, this live stream, and if you want, go check out that Behind the Curve documentary because it's fucking ridiculous. It's silly. But I'll leave it there. Thank you again for the support. Yeah, and until next time, from all my relations, peace, love, and harmony.
So the globe earther atheist, this guy right here, is praising the document because apparently the small But instead, Fanshawe, he says, oh, I don't think.
I mean, what makes him think that the gyroscope is actually detecting the movement of the sky rather than the movement of the physically in the sky, Bob? All this means to know how the fucking gyroscope works. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that heavenly energies are emanating and affecting the gyroscope. He's seeking to confirm his own bias. And Bob knows that this is detrimental to his flat earth model.
But the rotation is not looking good at this point. Yeah, if we jumped where we found right now, we would be, bad. Does Bob know he's on camera? Does Bob know that at this moment, he's being recorded? And I got to emphasize this. A Globe Earth documentary film crew. The rotation is not looking good at this point. Yeah, if we jumped where we found right now, we would be, bad. You see him admitting that the data, he's at a social doing a documentary. Does he know he's being recorded? That these remarks I'm making can be used against the flat earth community. How people will use his words to manipulate and to attempt to disband and derail the flat earth community. Kind of got a close up on him. Does Bob know there's cameras in his face? Let's go back. There's more, guys. There's fucking more. Why is the vegan warrior going to fuck off on some of his favorite globe earthers? Y'all think, oh, vegan warrior just went crazy. Oh, vegan warrior just went crazy. No, your ass ain't seen behind the curtain. I think I went back to
this from the actual scientific method. See, Bob here is testing to confirm his bias instead of testing to know the truth of reality. I mean, what makes him think that the gyroscope is actually detecting the movement of the sky rather than the movement of the earth? The gyroscope isn't physically in the sky, Bob. All this means is that Bob doesn't know how the fucking gyroscope works. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that heavenly energies are emanating and affecting the gyroscope. He's seeking to confirm his own bias. And Bob knows that this is detrimental to his flat earth model.
But the rotation is not looking good at this point. Yeah, if we jumped where we found right now, we would be,
bad. But what does Bob do with these results?
We as flat earthers feel that we have several smoking guns.
Of course you do, Bob. Of course you do. Now on to Jared.
So this video, I did a live stream for almost 2 hours. That's an hour and 59 minutes right there, breaking down this entire video. Just to give you a heads up, they make Mark Sargent look like a grown-ass man that lives in the basement with his mother. They do this weird thing in the documentary where Patricia Steere and Mark Sargent are in some type of relationship, which has nothing to do with Flat Earth. They completely dog Jaron out. He does 2 experiments in the documentary. The first one fails horribly. The second one is at the very end of the documentary, and it gives the impression to the person watching the documentary that Jaron, a flat earther, proved that the earth was a globe. And that's the very last thing you see when this documentary goes off. when it ends with Jaren proving the Earth is a globe. This is probably one of the worst hit pieces I've ever seen on Flat Earth. And I really wish it was free on the internet so you guys could see it too. But you got to actually pay money to go see this. For $4.99 on Amazon Prime is like the only way I was able to find it. I wasn't able to find it for free anywhere. And when you read the credits of the documentary, it says starring Mark Sargent, starring Patricia Steere, meaning they got paid for that shit. Basically, they sold out. That's my beef.
I haven't saw the documentary yet, and I'm gonna look at it. But the thing that aggravate me is that I know my money is gonna go to these agents. I know that, and I'm gonna go and say it. You know, I ain't gonna hold back. Jeranism, Bob Noda, you may have done a lot to open our eyes to flat Earth truth, but one thing infiltrators and agents do is give you the truth with an agenda. That's why they call it agent, because they got an agenda. And I ain't gonna lie, I've always been suspicious of that agenda. And I'm so glad D Marble here too, so he can speak to the people, because a lot of people, you know, may associate the brother with certain people or stuff. He can speak for himself now that he here, you know, to all of y'all. So I'm gonna also say shout out to Subtle Infinity. Thanks for jumping on. We're going to pass the mic around, but I'm going to say this too. I think the brother Masterpiece said that the documentary was good. I think somebody in the chat room said that Masterpiece was on the panel. Maybe he'll hop back on. But yeah, I want everybody to weigh in on it, man. And the last clips that we just saw was basically Bob doing an experiment with the gyroscope. And when he was interviewed in a documentary about the results, he basically said it proved that the earth was spinning. This is very major and it's very deceptive, because we know for a fact that the damn earth ain't spinning. So now we know that Bob ain't no damn idiot. So there's only one more thing left. He's just like what Eric DeBay always said, a damn shield, and there's some lucrative motivation to this shit. You know, one thing I want to say before I pass the mic, and I'm gonna start from I'm gonna go down the list. Vegan went first, so we'll keep going from right to left. Subtle Infinity and on down, and we'll work our way down to my brother Suge. Let me just say this. I'm gonna be brief so we can start the rotation. What I think about the gyroscope experiment, a lot of people ain't gonna like what I'm gonna say, because y'all look at machines like gods, and you can't really be talking shit about globalists relying on satellites if you relying on gyroscopes and all this other shit. Because what I mean is this. We talk about the five senses. That's how I ultimately came into flat earth. When I sit down and assess it, I have to agree with vegan. That's how, and it was a lot of Jeranism videos that made me start utilizing my five senses and observe shit and say, damn, that, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. But the thing about it is, we using machines to replace our senses today. It's like, fuck my senses. If this gyroscope said that it's spinning, well, all of my damn good ass observations I've made, this, think about it, your senses don't detect the damn spin, but since the gyroscope said it detected, well, I was wrong all this time. So it's like believing a computer, believing a, you know, you are the damn gyroscope. Do you feel the spin? So it's like you're gonna ignore your body's senses that's saying ain't shit spinning because a robot said, well, I feel it though. That's what they basically turning science into. It don't take a and I'm gonna say this too. If you want to break down what a gyroscope does, we can start talking about the word gyration and gyrate. and you'll see that it can all be going into some sexual shit now when we talk about this flat earth science. But I ain't finna go deep with all that today because I got a huge panel, but it's a lot of deception to that. And one thing we got to get away from is investing our damn money in experiments, no matter what the damn experiment is, because there's been some excellent experiments where you didn't have to invest your money. D. Marvel did an experiment on a plane. He didn't. I don't think he asked for donations for that. He did another one with the laser. I don't want to speak for him. He can cut me off, but I don't think he. I think that was mostly funded by that brother. So what I'm saying is, like, anybody telling you, come on, put your money in this pot, we're gonna do this experiment to prove some shit that we've already proven by now. They need to do experiments by now, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so cut on in, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, just to hop on. Yeah, you're right. I haven't asked anybody for anything. So yeah, like any observations I make, any experiments I do, yeah, it's all me. It's self-funded. I'm just out here trying to gather information, bring it back to the community, so we can shut this debate down. Feel me?
And that's 100% facts, brother. And that's why we're gonna support you all the way because the support you get from the people, you take that and you whatever you do to make your money is on you, but you're making good use of the money in funding your own experiments, man. That's some hey, shout out FE offensive because even if the experiment failed, at least you didn't damn fund it. What I'm talking about is you fund an experiment and it's debunking you. And the documentary that's doing it is going to be lucrative to everybody involved in it. This is deep stuff. We need to talk about this, but I'm going to mute my mic. Go ahead, guys.
Oh no, I was just gonna chime in, just to clear the record. If anybody was wondering, I didn't get a penny from that. Nobody told me that I was gonna be in it, and if they did, I don't remember. Like Vegan said, yeah, I'm on at the end, but it's like me talking on stage. The same talk that I got up on my channel, the same talk that anybody could have recorded while they were sitting in the audience. I didn't do a one-on-one, not an interview, not a handshake or nothing, as far as I know, with these cats. So I'm not associated. As far as that ring laser gyro situation, yeah. Look, when I watched that documentary once, and I had it kind of playing in the background while I was doing some other stuff, so I wasn't completely tuned in. That stuff is it's detrimental. It's detrimental. It does give a little more ammo to the globe believers. I mean, that's a fact. But I don't know. I don't know. I didn't get a good look at it, and I was just listening while Vegan was breaking it down on the other video. So I will say I have a better understanding. So with that, I'll fall back.
Yeah, appreciate that. You can hop back in. We're gonna keep the mic rolling. We're gonna go ahead. My brother Subtle Infinity, you next on the mic, my brother. I don't know if you checked it out, but welcome to the show. We're gonna pass the mic on to the left.
Oh wow. Yeah. Thank you for having me on this evening. I am honored to be here. This is this is an exciting topic for me because I've been calling this shit out. I'm not even going to individualize anything. I've been calling this shit out for quite some time now, and I've been interested on people's perspectives on what is going on. So I'm really just here more to kind of just listen. I'm interested on what people really think is the real issue. Like what's the core of the problem? Like what is like who? So I saw the whole thing where he's talking about like, oh, this stuff can't be. So the individual is his name Bob. Is that from Glowbusters? Am I muted? Can I hear you?
Yeah, my bad. It took me a minute to get my
Okay, sorry.
mute button out. But Bob Noodle, Raymond Noodle, I'm just fucking with you. Go ahead, so.
So he said it sounds like he said that like he came across some evidence. I'm not even gonna go into the whole like evidence thing because that's another storyline about like the whole perspective of approach to flat earth in general. Like how when we talk about uh perspectives of the flat earth from the human story, people like Bob and Jeranism don't even reference that shit. So that's a whole world, that's a whole approach to flat earth that they never even been a part of. So in my perspective, like they don't even like what they've been talking about didn't matter in the first fucking place because they ain't never been on the damn topics of what we was talking about 3 years ago. They ain't never went into like the ancestors. I'm not saying that like they are required to all this other shit. What I'm saying is that there's more than one storyline here. Like the individuals and what they're involved in is like a earth, like we can see it, shrink it down to like a city or a state or like even an earth in comparison to like a universal perspective to the flat earth. They always been talking about some money shit. They always been about some fake ass, not about no real ass shit, bullshit, flat earth. Let's just turn this into a media market bullshit ass world. They always been about that. So this is not a surprise that they just been caught on camera. That's just like all others. They just been caught on camera that they've been about some old fake ass shit. They ain't never been about the real shit. So my question is like what are we really talking about? Like where are the intentions? They never had the intentions of the core of where I was coming from and where people that I've talked to personally engaging in flat earth conversations, family and friends. When we talk about that shit, we ain't talking about no money, no fake ass like, oh yeah, let's do a conference and just talk to the mainstream. Nah, fuck that. We talking about how the fuck have we been lied to about the most basic interpretations of our reality for generations upon generations. These assholes trying to get a commercial deal. They ain't never been about that. Never. So that's why it wasn't really a surprise to me. And then I was just kind of like, because I don't want to go too hard on right now. I just want to like see where we're starting the conversation. If I'm here for this time, I'm just kind of interested on where the conversation is going to start. Like, what are we really talking about here? Because we can spend a whole bunch of time talking about individual dudes and shit when that ain't even really like the topics or what perspectives like me and my friends would really want to be talking about. I mean, so that's just like what I want to keep in mind when we are, realizing who's, just for example, who's on the panel right now. So like, I'm on a panel. You've been on, Bro Sanchez. We've been talking about some deep shit in reference to the flat Earth that ain't even been acknowledged by these motherfuckers. And I will call these motherfuckers because they've been on my channel in my comment section trying to talk me down with their old fake asses. They've been in that comment section. You can go in the comment section and see Jeranism, little fake ass, talking about, on his little keyboard, typing away on my little tiny ass channel because I've been calling his ass out. Not just, I'm just saying, like, it's just fucking funny to me because they ain't never really been on the real flat earth topics in the first place. They always been about some old commercial bullshit. So that's all I wanted to, start off the conversation with, and then see what all the people who's been in and around those circles, what y'all think about this. And since we now have this information, like what are we really talking about here? What are the intentions in reference to this subject of flat earth and etc.? Like, what are the intentions? We see what their intentions are. Now we have quote unquote real evidence. So I'll fall back right now. We have real evidence. So what now? What?
Yeah, brother.
And peace to everybody too. Everybody, I'm coming in a peaceful. I know I sound the way I sound, but I'm coming from a peaceful place. So just to make that clear. So, peace. Thank you. thank you.
Oh, man, my mic was muted. What I was just saying, y'all, is yeah, I can vouch for the brother Subtle. Everything he's saying is 100. He been calling it out, even when I was defending it and couldn't see it. He was trying to tell it to me, so I was vouching for that. Yeah, my bad. My mic was muted for a little bit, but yeah, man. The brother Subtle been going in on it, and one thing about it, I think you also had some problems on the potato channel one time in the chat room. I remember that, man. You know my
Yeah, they blocked me and everything. This shit is on Netflix.
Brother, that's what I was just finna tell you. Let me.
Are you fucking serious?
Bro, it gets deep, bro. Let me tell you something, bro.
I was just talking about.
Hey, bro.
Listen, let me mute my mic.
Now listen. They getting paid, my nigga. Cause listen, let me tell you something.
Bro, listen. What the fuck?
Shut up. You guess what?
You said
hey, look, you said this shit. You said, listen, bro, these your words. When Flat Earth go mainstream,
thank you.
For these reasons. Now listen, you know when that shit go mainstream, it got to go a certain way, and this the way it went, man. Debunking the shit out.
Damn, that shit went straight the way. I'm glad I came on tonight, man.
You
holy shit.
Hey, I'm gonna give you your props, bro. You a prophet with this one, man. You prophesied this shit. I ain't gonna even deny that one, man.
Day straight. Somebody said, who's that? Outflying, they finesse the community. Show the fuck did. Because that's exactly what it was. Like, oh, we're a community. Look. And then they played that. I heard they mentioned like they played that fake ass relationship between Mark and Patricia. They put that shit on there too. Oh, I can't wait to see that shit. That shit is gonna be so funny. You know what? You know what would be cool? Cause I don't really want to do it. I wanna get some breakdowns, like some editing, edit that behind the curve shit with some of the older videos or like all that other shit, just calling this shit out to see what this shit really is. Because they can't dig themselves out of the place they always been. They always been there. Now it's just seen for what it is, and they gotta wear that motherfucking suit. They gotta wear that shit. They on Netflix now with a fucking deal, talking all this shit. You gonna wear that shit now. I'm gonna fall back, man. This is some bullshit. That is some of the sickest shit out there. They knew exactly what the fuck they were doing.
I just gotta laugh, man.
Fuck that shit, man. Fuck them, man. Yo. Hey, I want to say it live right now. Fuck those motherfuckers, because I've been saying fuck them motherfuckers for the last 3 years. Now, live, fuck those motherfuckers.
Yeah, buddy. See, when you get that bag, when you make it to Netflix with some flat earth shit, it ain't gonna be talking about electromagnetism, no curvature, no flat water. It ain't gonna be bringing. Did they even mention the damn spirit level shit? Because that'll debunk the fucking gyrus.
They used every last one of these motherfuckers the same way everybody else got used. They did the same shit. Crazy. It's always been about that.
Yeah, everybody. Hey, this is a big grand awakening for the flat earth community. Now we can start assessing who is who. So it's kind of good too. I'm gonna pass the mic to Shinobi. Vegan, you want to say something for Shinobi rock out?
Oh no, man. I mean, he's all over it. I didn't even know this shit was on Netflix. That must be recent, like in the last couple of weeks or so.